Since the beginning of time and space, or like roughly sometime in 1996 when I first started playing the games, I absolutely fell in love with Pokemon. The franchise holds a really special place in my heart. It was like the first game that I ever really got to experience the whole way through, or an entire story of something, beginning really humbly at the first hometown and ending battling the Elite Four. It was the first ever gaming journey that I ever really went on. And when I played through these games, they were so immersive and fun and engaging, and the exploration component was so exciting. I used to love just diving headfirst into whatever these games would throw at you and just being completely immersed. And some of my greatest childhood memories come from experiencing these games and experiencing them with others as well. I remember not being able to beat the Pokemon Silver Elite Four and needing to borrow a trade cable off of somebody, connect my Game Boy Color to someone else's Game Boy Color, get a powerful Pokemon from them, and then be able to challenge the Elite Four properly with it. And then for years afterwards, my first entry in the Elite Four just had this random kids for alligator that was level 100 that just let me power through it because I had no idea what I was doing. But I still just absolutely loved these games. Those are some of my favorite childhood memories. Also, I don't know why we're in a Coles right now. We could probably go back to the space background if you want. I just thought I'd try. Yeah, cool, we're in space again. But as you can probably tell, I am a massive nerd for these games. Every time I would pick up the new installment or buy the latest Nintendo console to be actually able to play the new game, it felt like you were getting a finished product. You'd sit down and play it, and there might have been bugs or inconsistencies, minor ones, but for the most part, what you were playing and what you received after spending money was a finished product. It was a game that felt complete, like there wasn't anything extra that needed to go along with it or a patch that needed to be added to it. You sat down to play Pokemon, and it worked. And now, today, what we get is this. This is it. Yeah, cool elbow. Great. Awesome. Something that's broken, something that doesn't work, and most importantly, above all else, something that doesn't get patched. And the recent releases just feel like they've been a joke, especially for how much they cost. Where I'm from, they're $79.95, which is just insane. And it kind of just feels like they made the jump from DS to 3DS and the franchise lost all of its heart. I always chalk it up to the second that they took the game from the 2D animation sprites to the 3D models. I feel like everything just changed from that point there. Less effort was being put into the games, less care, and it really started to shine through. Which essentially brings me to why I wanted to make this video, because I genuinely think that we as a community deserve more from the Pokemon Company and GameFreak. I think that Pokémon Legends ZA has the potential to be something really, really good, and that hopefully, because they've stepped away from the annual release and have taken time to make a decent game that's polished, we may actually get something good. In theory. And we've seen this with other game franchises that have taken time off to reevaluate and reassess. Look at Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild. They took a moment, analyzed what makes Zelda great, how they could build on an already incredible world, and make a really special game. I mean, these games didn't release perfectly, but I think we can all agree that they released in a far better state than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did. And the franchise doesn't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel either. I for one anyway, I'm perfectly okay with them having a new region, having new Pokemon, having there be just the same generic team leader. There just needs to be some heart actually put into these games again. There needs to be some character put back into the models. The world needs to be actually explorable and not a mess with glitches, bugs, and everything in between that rip you out of that immersion factor. Yes, we're in Coles again, but we're only in Coles again because I need to prove a point. To speak more at what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, I think that these games had such a meaningful impact on all of us because there was that immersion factor. When you played through these games at the beginning, it felt like a final product. It didn't feel like something that was presented to you half-baked. half done. When you sat down to play it, you could completely immerse yourself in the experience with everything around you because there was nothing that ripped you out with someone whose arm was completely bending upside down and through. Like, what was going on there? What was that? See? There it is again. And it's weird. What is that? Why? But the thing that saddens me the most is that because we've received the games in this state, this franchise is a bit of a laughing stock at the moment. Everybody sees these titles and just kind of rolls their eyes. I didn't even get through the latest DLC because there were that many issues when I played it. I just couldn't sit down and enjoy myself. I felt like every single time I was trying to get into it or making that step to get into it, a bug somewhere would just rip me out of that immersion factor, or the game would crash and I just couldn't experience it the way that I wanted to. And I can totally understand people in the comments are probably going to be like, oh, well, you know, the game isn't made for you, it's made for kids. And I can completely understand that. I did Google it and it did say that the median age was 24, if that's how you say median age, if that's what that means. But still, I don't think that just because it's made primarily for a different age bracket that why should we settle for something being presented to us that's essentially broken? Why should any age bracket have to pay for something that's a mess? We as a consumer should get something that, I don't know, works. Like, for too long, Nintendo have been pushing out sub-quality games and relying on brand name to make sales. It's consumers like us that end up suffering for it when we go to buy these games on their release because we are fans and we enjoy them. And I understand that the franchise is part of a bigger picture that consists of trading cards and merchandise and tight schedules. I just don't think that we should be accepting that GameFreak are continuously serving us garbage and trying to pass it off as a 5-star gourmet meal. It just feels wrong. And I've been genuinely on the fence about whether or not I will buy Pokémon Legends ZA. And again, I don't think they necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. I genuinely just think that the games just need a little bit of polish and love and not as many bugs, which I personally feel like isn't too much to ask. But I would love to know down below what you think. This is my first time making a video like this, so any feedback that you've got would be great. If you want to see more videos like this, please do let me know. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos because I really want to start creating more content similar to this. I also stream on Twitch, so feel free to chuck me a follow over there. The link is in my description. We're a pretty friendly bunch. We like to have a bit of a yarn, bit of a laugh. So yeah, let me know down below what you think the current state of the Pokemon franchise is, if you think it's a dumpster fire or if it's got the potential to actually be something really good and capture that magic again. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. I had written down in my notes here that Mum says I have to go and cook dinner and take the rubbish out. So yeah, please leave my house now.